Night falls on a world marked by boundaries, some ancient, others born of conflict and fear. Join me as we explore the planet's 10 most extreme borders, where crossing is a test of courage, desperation, and fate. At the 38th parallel, the Demilitarized Zone, known as the DMZ, stretches for about 250 kilometers, forming a tense and heavily fortified buffer between North and South Korea. This narrow strip of land, just 4 kilometers wide, has become one of the most militarized borders in the world, holding the attention of nations far beyond the Korean peninsula. Soldiers from both sides stand guard day and night, separated by layers of landmines, barbed wire, and watchtowers, their eyes trained on each other across a barren expanse. The air here is thick with decades-old tension, a silent reminder of a war that never officially ended. Few dare to cross this forbidden zone. Even the smallest misstep can trigger alarms, diplomatic crises, or something far worse. Yet, paradoxically, the DMZ is also a sanctuary. Untouched by human development for over 70 years, it has become an accidental haven for rare wildlife and endangered species. Here, the past refuses to rest, and the future remains shrouded in uncertainty, as hope and hostility coexist in uneasy silence. At Wagah, the border between India and Pakistan is both fortress and stage. Soldiers parade with ritual precision, but beneath the spectacle lies a scar of partition and loss. Fences, floodlights, and armed patrols mark decades of mistrust. Smugglers, spies, and separated families all test the border's resolve. Here, hope and hostility are separated by little more than a gate and a glance. The border between the United States and Mexico stretches for nearly 2,000 miles, winding its way through vast deserts, rugged mountains, and remote valleys, a line that is both a barrier and a beacon for countless people. Here, the landscape is unforgiving. Scorching days turn into freezing nights, and the silence of the desert is broken only by the footsteps of those who dare to cross. Migrants risk everything for a chance at a better life, leaving behind families, homes, and everything familiar. They face not only the harsh elements, but also relentless patrols, high-tech surveillance, and towering fences that slice through communities, dividing families and futures with cold efficiency. Smugglers, driven by profit, exploit the desperation of those seeking hope, often leading them into even greater danger. Yet, amid the peril, some find salvation in hidden shelters and the kindness of strangers. To cross here is to gamble with fate. For some, it means freedom and the promise of a new beginning, while for others, it ends in tragedy and heartbreak. The desert keeps its secrets well, and the line between hope and despair is razor thin, etched into the sand by every footstep that dares to cross. Nowhere in the world is a border more visible or more fiercely contested than the one separating Israel from the Gaza Strip. Here, the landscape is dominated by imposing concrete walls, layers of barbed wire, and looming watchtowers, all standing as stark reminders of decades of conflict and tension. These barriers are not just physical, they represent deep divisions in history, politics, and daily life. On the Israeli side, cities and towns bustle with activity, commerce, and relative security. In stark contrast, life in Gaza is marked by scarcity, uncertainty, and the ever-present threat of violence. For many, the border is more than a line on a map. It is a barrier that separates families, friends, and entire communities. Crossing is tightly controlled, with permits rarely granted, making family reunions precious and infrequent. Yet despite the hardships, hope persists. The border is drawn not only in concrete and steel, but also in memory and longing, a testament to the enduring human spirit and the dream of a more peaceful future. The border between Russia and Ukraine has become a symbol of upheaval and uncertainty. Checkpoints, trenches, and armed forces mark a landscape scarred by recent conflict. Civilians live in the shadow of unpredictable violence, crossing only out of desperation. Amidst the peril, life persists. Children play, farmers work, resilience endures. This border is a living testament to the costs of conflict and the fragility of peace. In Africa's savannas, the border between Sudan and South Sudan is a place of tension and hardship. War, landmines, and humanitarian crises define this boundary, splitting tribes and resources. Refugee camps sprawl across the land, and crossing is an act of desperation. Armed groups and aid workers navigate perilous roads, while families rebuild amidst ruins. The border is a line of suffering and resilience, a testament to the unbreakable human spirit. The border between Colombia and Venezuela is a corridor for those fleeing collapse and hunger. Lawlessness reigns, with smugglers and armed groups exploiting chaos. Families walk for miles, makeshift camps offering only brief respite. Amid crisis, acts of kindness shine. Volunteers provide aid, and communities open their doors. Here, the border is a fragile lifeline, where survival and hope are tested daily. The border between Afghanistan and Pakistan winds through mountains and valleys, shaped by conflict and nature. The Durand Line is a source of strife, with militant groups moving in the shadows. Refugees, smugglers, and traders risk treacherous routes, driven by necessity. Drones patrol the skies, and trust is scarce in this crucible of endurance. Villages cling to the slopes, life persists, and the border tests courage and hope. Where China meets North Korea, the border is both lifeline and trap. The Yalu and Tumen rivers are watched by guards and cameras, every crossing a gamble. Defectors brave icy waters and constant threat, while smugglers risk all for a chance at freedom. The area is shrouded in secrecy. Trust is scarce, and silence prevails. Here, the border is both barrier and beacon, calling to those desperate for something more. On Hispaniola, the border between Haiti and the Dominican Republic is a line of stark contrasts. Lush forests meet deforestation, opportunity meets adversity. Haitians seeking work face strict controls and perilous journeys. Tensions flare, but daily life persists. Traders cross, children play, communities endure. This border shapes destinies, a reminder that a simple line can define millions of lives. As night returns, we ponder the stories written along these extreme borders. They are more than lines on a map. They are frontiers of fear, hope, and the unknown. Subscribe for more journeys into the world's most mysterious divides.